Hey there, long time no see. I made my 100th video for the channel and decided, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and a little bit of a break turned into a bit of a break. But here I am, back at it, touching base and giving you my thoughts on the Xbox Series S 2 months after launch. Hey, if you're enjoying the video, if you like the channel, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you can be notified when more content's on the way. So 2 months ago, the new generation of consoles launched, and so I sprung for the PS5 all digital. And this generation, my goal was to be all digital. I really didn't want to have to deal with disc, with the exception of Nintendo hardware. My Switch, of course, is low on memory, as they all are, even though I've got a memory card, and I just tend to gravitate toward physical media for Nintendo products, and that's likely going to be the case no matter what they do in the future, whether it's the Switch Pro, the Switch 2, or whatever it ends up looking like. But with that in mind, I had a decision to make when it came to Xbox. So I had an Xbox One X, which was a great console. In my opinion, it was the best console of last gen for a variety of reasons, and I can save that for another video. But I really enjoyed it, but I did know that I wanted the perks of next gen, which included things like quick resume, which is a big Xbox feature, which they've implemented to varying degrees of success depending on which game you're playing. Also, just the generally fast loading times, the upped frame rate that you're given, whether you're getting an Xbox Series X or Series S. But I knew I wanted to jump into next gen. So I pre-ordered a PS5 as that became available first for pre-order. After some thinking about it, I sort of arrived at the conclusion of I don't really need both a Series X and a PS5. I mean, I've got, one console in the PS5 that will do up to 8K gaming, even though, of course, I don't have an 8K TV and nobody's really making 8K content, and it's questionable how soon or not that's actually going to show up as a thing. And then, of course, this can go, I believe, up to 120 frames per second, but my TV is limited to 60 frames per second, so does it really matter? Not really. So in looking at the cost, $500 for a Series X or $300 for a Series S, I decided to get the Series S. And so I ended up going kind of this circuitous route where I had a PS4 Slim that I didn't really have a need for anymore. I decided to give my Xbox One X to my oldest son, who's now 10 years old, and so he's been enjoying Fortnite and all kinds of things on that. But in making that decision, I knew the downside was going to be, among other things, storage. And of course, there were some resolution limitations to the Series S. It reportedly does up to 1440p. I've noticed, however, on my 4K television that it, of course, upscales. And honestly, there are some games that I'm sure if you put them side by side, you could see the difference. But generally, I think it looks fantastic. I think it's an amazing console. So when it came down to it, I just decided, I've got one really kind of powerhouse type system in the PS5. Why not just get the Series S? And so again, I got rid of the PS4 Slim. And when I was deciding what I wanted to do with that, I opted to trade it into GameStop so that I could get the expansion card memory for the Series S. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, that's $220. Why not put that toward the cost of the Series X and just buy a Series X? And then you've got 1 terabyte of storage built into that, and you've got the more powerful console. Well, my thinking was, I had barely managed to snag a pre-order for a Series S, and I thought, down the road, I'll probably get a Series X, or if they come up with a, 2 years down the road, a next refresh model, whatever that looks like, I can at least take the memory card out and put it in that. But I thought, for now, let me just use the Series S, let me see how frequently I actually play it, and then I can decide if I want to sell it and get a Series X or whatever I decide to do with that. So I'm here to tell you that I am wholly satisfied with the Series S. I think it's a fantastic machine. I think it's actually, in a lot of ways, the most slick piece of tech to come out of next gen. Aesthetically, I think it's the most beautiful of the boxes. And, even though I really enjoy the PS5 and I do play it somewhat consistently, I think it's a really ugly design. I know there's varying opinions, on that. But personally, I just don't think it's a good looking box. I think it's a great system. I think the UI is great. I think, longevity wise, it's going to last a long time. But to me, the Series S is just a really gorgeous piece of tech. And honestly, I end up now playing my Series S more frequently than I do my PS5. And that's due in large part, I think, to Game Pass. I really bought it thinking, okay, this will be a Game Pass machine. And more than likely, I'll buy the more kind of high fidelity power games on the PS5, but I kind of find myself wanting to play most stuff on the Series S because I just love the Xbox interface. I love the controller. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the DualSense is an amazing controller. What it does with Astro Bot is just incredible. If you've played that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I still think that the Xbox controllers in general win on the side of comfort, and I would rather be playing games on that than I would the DualSense, even though it is a huge improvement over the DualShock 4, in my opinion. So, you know, all these months later, 2 months, I guess it's not been that long. It feels like it's been forever since launch. I guess that's just sort of, you know, pandemic talk at this point. Everything sort of blends into everything else. It's sort of Groundhog Day on repeat. But yeah, 2 months later, I do not regret buying it at all. In fact, I don't know, you know, if I would have gotten a Series X, if I would have felt like it was worth the price. Especially given everything the Series S can do. Now again, if you put the games side by side from a PS5 and a Series S, it's going to be, you know, I think obvious in some games that there is a difference, but to me the games look fantastic. I've played through Dirt 5, 94% completion in terms of achievements on the Series S, and I thought it played great, it looked great, it had a great frame rate, and just played super fluidly and really well. I played through the second Ori game. I think it's Will of the Wisp. I played all the way through that. That was a gorgeous game. I played through a number of titles on this, and I have not been disappointed. Now, you know, that could be because I'm just so used to the Xbox that I really enjoy its general setup. I don't know how powerful or not. I sort of expected the S to be whenever I received it. I had looked at all the videos, read all the reports on it. But really, I think it's a very worthwhile investment, especially if you're looking to get into next gen, and especially if you have a first gen Xbox or even an Xbox One S. I think it's absolutely worth the upgrade. Now, if you have an Xbox One X, I think it's debatable whether or not you need to get this, or to be honest, even the Series X at this point. But I do not regret it at all, and I give it my full endorsement. So anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. I hope everyone's been doing well. I'm hoping to produce some more content here in the coming weeks. Now that we're sort of past the holiday season and I've had extended time to sort of rest up and sort of regroup, there should be some more videos coming soon. But as always, thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts. If you have the Series S, what do you think about it? Are you happy with it? Are you disappointed with it? Do you think it could have been better? But I'd love to hear from you all. So once again, thanks for watching.